What's up? Oh, what do we got going on here today? I could tell you, but it's a Funsies stream this morning. But there is a reason for this, which I'll get to here in a minute. Please stand by. Yeah, budgets are never fun, Gray.
War. War never changes. In 1776, this great nation accepted that armed conflict was the only way to preserve our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If our founding fathers could only see us now. From Antietam to Amiens, Okinawa to Anchorage, we have fought. And now, the Red Menace is at our doorstep. Democracy itself is under threat of annihilation. That is why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you, the good people of America, so that if the bombs do come, if the end does come, our way of life will endure. But not everyone will be saved. Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest. For when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
Our future begins now.
Good morning, Vault 76. This is the Overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and
Never.
overslept.
Have a great day.
It's time to get up and get out there. We've been locked away long enough.
So, here's where I get to...
Is Reclamation Day.
Well, if she'll stop talking. Is she done?
It may be time
No?
to leave, but I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76.
If she's not done, I'll let her ramble.
You come from every walk of life, every race, color, and creed. But you all share one very important trait. You are this country's best and brightest. But more importantly, you'll always be my family.
That doesn't look like a bad start right there. Is she done with her ramble? If she's done with her ramble, I can talk about this now. So, what am I doing today? Why Fallout 76? Well, you've heard me talking about this a little bit in streams over the past couple of weeks. This is for an upcoming project, which we're going to be kicking off in November. But I wanted to do a test character today because I've played in a while and I have a couple of things that I want to sort out before I get to the November section. It's also a great chance to sort of seed the idea with people in a live stream, and then we'll produce a few videos around this as we get closer to it. But here's what's going to be happening starting in November. I have never done a deep dive into Fallout 76. I have played twice before, both times very limited. I played maybe 4 or 5 years ago with Maduros. Those videos are up on the channel somewhere. Maybe did about 10, 15 hours of the game. Then last year, when the show was airing, I played I got to level 14. I got a character up to level 14. So again, another 10, 15 hours of the game. But I've never actually played Fallout 76 with any serious intent. With Fallout Season 2 coming in December, I am going to be doing a deep dive into Fallout 76. Now, this is going to be starting, I don't know exactly when in November yet, but mid November is the plan after I finish up the Outer Worlds 2. Because right now, we're getting ready to kick off. We're going to be doing PAX Die today, PAX Day. Then we're going to be playing Vampire Masquerades Bloodlines 2 on the 21st, rolling from that into Outer Worlds 2 on the 25th, and then after Outer Worlds 2 finishes up sometime in early to mid-November or October, November, yeah. When I finish Outer Worlds 2, I'm going to be starting the journey into Fallout 76, and I will be playing a character up to and through the launch and airing of Fallout Season 2 on Amazon. So while we are all watching the show together, and while I am reviewing the episodes of the TV show, like I always do, I will be simultaneously playing Fallout 76. This will be one of the main jams throughout November, December, and into January. Now, I have never done any sort of like massive deep dive into this game before. I do love the Fallout games. I love Bethesda games in general, but I've just never really sank my teeth into this full time because I've had lots of other projects going on. But because there's no major releases happening between like the 15th of November and like the 15th of February, I have a 90-day gap where I want to do things that I've never done before. One of those things is going to be Fallout, and it's the perfect time to do this because of the new TV show. So, what I'm doing today obviously as we're recording this announcement video. But I'm also going to be going through, and something I haven't ever done before is when I've played this game in the past, the 2 times I've tried it, I have started a character absolutely from scratch. But I know there's an option to also start at level 20 with some points already assigned. I'm going to be testing that out this morning just to see what that feels like so that I can make a decision for when I start my character in um, November, do I start like from scratch, or do I start from that level 20 starting point? I haven't decided yet. So we're going to play around with some stuff this morning, hang out, have some fun, check out Fallout 76, and enjoy. It has nothing to do with the timeline though, Dribrom. It's just because of publicity. Um, Bethesda and Amazon are doing a ton of publicity. They're doing tie-ins to Fallout 76 right now. Walter Goggins has made an appearance in Fallout 76 as the Ghoul. They're doing a lot of crossover and marketing. So from a marketing standpoint, it's a great time to be playing Fallout because I'm getting crossover from people who are watching the TV show going, "Hey, there's a Fallout game? I didn't know that. Is anybody playing the Fallout game? This guy's playing the Fallout game. Welcome to my channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Don't forget, I'm live every single day on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and all the other places, Discord and Patreon. That's what this is about. So, if I cared about the tie-in, I'd probably go play Fallout New Vegas and be like, I'm gonna finally finish the New Vegas playthrough. But that game is way too clunky for me. I appreciate the story. I'd rather just go watch someone else's playthrough to get up to speed on the story of uh, of the things that I've missed in New Vegas, having never finished it all the way. Much rather play Fallout 76 since it's modern. But that's what we're doing. We're doing a tie-in so that we can all celebrate and all things Fallout throughout the month of December and into January with the new show. Shiny says I've only ever played Fallout 4, which I thought was or is great. Yeah, Fallout 4 is good. Fallout 3 was, I mean, all the Fallout games are great. Bethesda's turn at the wheel. 3 was really fun. Liam Neeson did a great job in that game. I haven't played that since it launched. There's a rumored remake of that happening, which is really cool. Um, and then, of course, Fallout 76, which has been an ongoing project for Bethesda, and it keeps going to new strengths every single year. They keep doing really cool new things with it, and I figured it was time when they did the Walter Goggins announcement. a couple weeks back, and he announced that he was going to be in here as the Ghoul, and they were doing an update to coincide with the new season of the show coming out. I was like, you know what? I don't have any major releases happening at the end of the year. Normally in December and January is when I go to, like last year I played through the entire Mass Effect series from start to finish, all 4 games. I was like, I should do Fallout 76 for the first time, like really play it, not just the first 10 to 15 hours, and then get sidetracked with other projects because I have too many games to play. But since I don't have any new releases, now's the perfect time. I've been talking to Bubblelonia about it, some other people. Pretty sure I should be able to get a good 100-hour playthrough, which is kind of what I did last year with New World Eternum when it launched. I jumped in and played all the storyline, and it was about 100 hours of content. I have been told that I can expect to see about 100 hours of content from start to finish if I just do storylines and I don't do like events and side quests and stuff. So that's what we're going to be focused on. Today is just me getting on here so that I could make this announcement video to clip out for YouTube later, and also to just play around with some things and make some decisions on how I want to play when I start the actual playthrough in November. So anyway, let's go through character creation here really quick. I think we're going to start with that face. What are extras? Um, let's see here. We've got this as well. Do 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 do. Okay, that's there. That's there. I like the face. Here's where we can sculpt things, which I really don't need to, but can I do the hair? Yeah, let's do hair. 9 to 5. Hang on, let's start at the top. Hey, I'm not quite that receding. I'm getting there though. Hmm. Hang on. I mean, I'm not quite that far receding as a hairline, but I'm getting there. But I should probably go with one of those. Which one do I want? The creeper. I think that's. I mean, that's fairly accurate. Maybe in another 5 or 6 years, I'll be completely. See, I have a widow's peak. This guy doesn't have a widow's peak, so I still have something up front. It's not a lot. Um, Thanks for the gifted subs over on YouTube, Shiny. Appreciate it. For all of you who just got channel memberships on YouTube, make sure to check out the member only videos. Oh, and also a cool thing, YouTube just gave me access to courses today. So the series that I've been producing for the past couple of months on how to make a living as a streamer and content creator, excuse me, that series has now been converted from a regular playlist into a course. So there's actually course progression. There's 18 videos up so far. We're always adding more videos. So if you go watch that series now, it's actually a progression series where you go from start to finish the course, which I thought was a really cool thing. It's a brand new feature that YouTube is adding. So check that out. Um, yeah, we're gonna do the blast back because that's pretty close to what I have. It is a fact, Shiny. Foreheads grow as we get older. It's our brains getting bigger with more information. And the hair just naturally recedes backwards as a result. All right, we're going to accept that. We need to check out beards. That's jaw. That's chin. I don't want to do chin, though. I want to do beard. Facial hair. Lower. Oh, there's just facial hair in general. Let's start at the top. Let's see what we can do here. The daddy-o. Gentleman. The suave. The man's man. The renegade. Mephistopheles. The swashbuckler. The dashing rogue. We need some sort of a beard. That's not bad, though. The lone wanderer is not bad. Oh my goodness. That's what someone was suggesting I do here a minute ago. You should make a handlebar. Well, that's not quite a handlebar. Sorry, that's what's more of the... There we go. If I could grow that in real life, I totally would. But I don't have anything on the sides. I have a sideless. I have like 5 or 6 hairs on either side of my lips, but I don't ever grow enough on the side to do that. I'm a little jealous. I can pull that off. This is what my brother has, by the way. If you ever watch my brother's TikToks, he has like 6 inches on either side that he has meticulously crafted over several years. All right, that right there is not bad. That looks pretty grizzled. I can probably get away with that. That's even better. Um, do we go full Doomsday Prepper? Nah, let's go Survivalist. I'm okay with that. Now, how do we do color? There we go. Wait, that's skin tone color. Steel gray. Silver. Yeah, we could do steel gray. That's looking pretty good. What about extras? Damage. I don't have any damage. Coal miner. I don't need any of that. Damage. Oh, I see. Now you can't see the lip cut too much because of the beard. Yeah, I don't need any. Blemishes? Eye socket shade, lip color. Rough face. Cysts. Oh my goodness. No, we're good. Markings. Nah, we're good. Makeup? Nah. I think we're good on that. Anyway, um, let me timestamp this. This is just a reminder. We're going to be doing some Fallout 76 in November, starting in November. And today we're going to be having fun, just for funsies. 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Fallout 76. We're going to stream for a few hours this morning. I do have to run errands with Chris today. And then this afternoon, my plan is to try to come back and do some PAX Day today, because it is launch day into Game Pass 1.0, and then it's also going to be on Game Pass PC. So we're going to try that out today, and then I think Enshrouded tonight with Bubalonia and the guys. So it's going to be a busy day. Somewhere in there, I got to snag a nap, so we'll just see how the day goes. All right. Let's call him. Let's see here. There we go. Hang on. Why is that not working? Oh, I see. This is a Ren test. There we go. Take a snapshot. No, we're gonna move that down a little bit. Oh, you could do expressions. Hang on. Amused. Hang on, hang on. Can we zoom a little bit more? That's not actually zooming, is it? Oh, there's the zoom. You can only zoom in so much, though, apparently. Let's look through expression. Angry, awed, concerned, confident, disgust, flirting. I'm impressed. Ooh. Irritated, neutral. Where's the I gotta go back and find it now. Sad. Sinister smile. Ooh, that's I kinda dig it. Sinister smile wasn't too bad. I think I like this one more. Yeah, I like the sinister smile more. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Here, there's the snapshot. All right. Welcome to Have a Great Day. Do, 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 do. I only wish I could jam that good. Bom, bom. Happy Reclamation Day. Today is the day, everyone. We've been preparing for this moment for 25 years. We're ready. You're ready. America is waiting for us. So let's get out there. The Overseer. You're invited. All right. Nuka Topper. Yeah, we're going to quit the game. Nope, hit the wrong button. Stop. If I could take the tape with me. Might as well. Aw, doesn't work. Curtis Creation says, good morning from London. Found your channel a few days ago, been enjoying your Starfield videos. We do play a bit of Starfield from time to time. We're going to be doing Starfield Watchtower. We're going to be doing my very first creation ever in November. Possibly sooner. But I'm trying to wait till I clear out all the new releases before I start doing stuff like that. But we are planning on continuing the existing playthrough, which is my Funsies playthrough for the third time. And that's going to merge into the Watchtower project, which will start, like I said, probably November-ish. All right. Activate my Pip-Boy. Right. Quest started. Reclamation Day. Press B to open up your Pip-Boy. All right. Pip-Boy 2000 has been added. We can check your stats. We can go through here and look at all the items. I'm nothing at the moment. I have the Nuka Tapper tape. We have a quest for Reclamation Day. Reclamation Day came and passed months ago, but it's time for me to leave the vault and rebuild America. Nothing on the radio at the moment. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Stop! That's how I tab through. It's been a while since I played, so I gotta remember how to go through the Pip-Boy. Alright, leave vault 76.
tasked with nothing less than the rebuilding of America. Such
It's a big
huge
task.
responsibility. Just know that Vault-Tec is proud of you. I am proud of you. When you
What?
hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Fair enough. All right.
Message repeats in 24 hours.
Copy.
System breakdown.
Okay. Welcome to the vault. So we're following this up to...
Hello. At last. Today is your Reclamation Day. I bet you're just bursting your bolts to get out there and see the world.
Do we know anything about the world outside?
Nothing at all. The exterior sensors were taken out of commission after that unfortunate business with the nuclear bombs. With so many of your friends having been gone so long, I cannot begin to speculate how they've transformed Appalachia already.
All right. Stay hydrated. Here's how to keep your water clean. Obtain water, find campfire, boil water, enjoy.
Stay fed, stay hydrated. Very important.
I agree.
If you get injured, and you will get injured, make use of stim packs. They are literal lifesavers.
By the way, was there something on that table I could have grabbed? Because there was on that table. There was. Consuming drinks fills your first meter. Open your Pip-Boy and go to item, food, drink. And then we can drink.
Be on constant alert for the clickety-click of your Pip-Boy.
Power is key. Here's our building
So,
supplies.
About the infrastructure out there in Appalachia, I suspect there isn't any.
There's no infrastructure. Of course not. Alright, so I remember all of this.
Remember, you don't have to go it alone. Find friends, or make new ones.
Okay. Vault Tech reports. 25 units with vault doors closed. I'm not gonna do a deep read of all this right now. I'll be doing a deep read later. Why was there so much hate for Fallout 6? The same reason there's hate for Starfield. Some streamer somewhere got a bug up their butt and had a big enough following, and then they made up a whole bunch of stupid shit. And there we have it.
Log, or should I say, direct communication. Because whoever is listening
It's
to
not
this
what I
has
wanted,
the
so I'm
moxie
gonna
to
cry
to
about
find
it. And
out
because
where
I have a
I've
big
gone.
following, it's gonna resonate with a bunch of other people who
But
want to
I'm
cry
glad
about
you
how the
did.
game isn't what they
Truth
wanted.
is, I need your help. I've been given a task, and I've decided to break protocol and tell you what it is. Because if there's one thing I've learned in these past few years, it's that we need to rely on each other. There were 3 active nuclear silos in Appalachia before the bombs fell. They blew up the world before.
Yes,
We
they're
can't
all
let it
sheep.
happen
That's
again.
exactly what it is.
So we've got to locate and secure all of the silos. Or die trying. Hopefully the former. But it's been 25 years. I just don't know what we're gonna find out there. Or where to start. My directive was to go to the nearest population center and assess the situation.
Exactly.
I'll
It's
set up
this.
a
It's the
camp
same
on the
group
way
that are
once I get
Starfield
my
haters.
bearings. Find me there.
Yeah, but every game has bugs when they launch. Like, I've been through. Oh man, I can't even tell you how many live service games I've been through launch-wise now. And I don't think a single one of them have ever provoked feelings of hatred or rage inside of me. Bugs, especially having launched games now as well, like bugs are just a normal part of every game launch. Like, you want to talk buggy launches? Go back to Vanguard's Saga of Heroes back in 2007. That was a fucked up launch. It was such a bad launch that the game never recovered from it and eventually sunset. That would have been a game that I think, could legitimately, and I think we can legitimately, I can look back on that and say I can legitimately criticize all the things they did wrong, but at the same time, I never had feelings of hatred. Like, that's the Sith line of thinking. The absolutes. Only Sith deal in absolutes. Like, I think, and there's an interesting video. Was it Josh Strive Hayes? Someone did a video several years ago on the emotional connection that some people get with MMOs in particular, where because they invest so much time in them, they have emotional investments way beyond what you might get with like a single player game. And so people invest these emotions into these characters because they lack social skills in real life, but then they can have these personas online which allow them to be socially adept but in an online environment. And when that agency is taken away from them or something isn't the way they want it to be, they have these emotional outbursts. But I think hate is not. Yeah, I've never felt that personally. Frustration, absolutely. Like I said, for me, like I played through the launch of Vanguard Saga of Heroes. I was there. All the rubber banding, the constant DCs, um, so many bugs, and yet I still had a great time, and I still consider that to be one of the best MMORPGs I've ever played, despite the horrible bugs at launch. To the point where the game got sunset because it just couldn't. It never recovered from the horrible launch. Um, Fallout 76 was no more or no less than any other MMORPG I've ever played in that regards. It had bugs at launch. Dune Awakening had bugs at launch. World of Warcraft bugs at launch. EverQuest 2 bugs at launch. Um, like every game has bugs at launch. It's just, and I think the creative director of Dune Awakening said it best. A live service game is always the worst it's ever going to be on launch day because it's going to get patched, it's going to get updates, it's going to get DLCs, this, that, or the other. Um, No Man's Sky was another game that had a really, 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 really bad launch and has overcome it through 8 or 9 years now, where it went from overwhelmingly negative on Steam to overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Um, and this is no different. This game started off and had some issues when it launched. Without a doubt, this game had issues at launch. The one thing that kept me from playing this game at launch was not the quote unquote bugs. It was the fact that when this game launched, it didn't have um, NPCs. Like it was all like environmental storytelling. So you would find like the vault tape that we just listened to. It was all like things that you would find and listen to. And for me, that was always like I need NPCs. Like I'm not a fan. That's why I couldn't get into Conan Exiles as well. Conan Exiles is really hard for me to get into because there's just not really any NPCs. Um, Roberta, that's a good question. I have a great answer for that. So, what are your feelings regarding devs blocking PTR? public test releases. There were some patches back in the day when WoW patches were blind released. So when I was developing my MMO, I never shared the patch notes. Never, ever, ever share the patch notes. The reason for that is because I didn't want players creating a Wikipedia, and I didn't want players knowing in advance what was coming into the game. I didn't want people to know what content was getting released. So we would just drop a patch, no patch notes. Nope. Go out there and figure it out. Like, you don't need to know what we've patched into the game. Bug fixes, that's a different thing. But in terms of like giving you detailed patch notes, I am 100% against that. I do not believe in giving patch notes to the players. Bug fixes, yes. I think those are cool. But in terms of content, I'm a big fan of just go forth and figure it out. However, I also understand that for the marketing perspectives, you really, it behooves you to put out patch notes so that people can go, oh, that's in the game now? That's more of a reason to play. Um, yeah, Skull Masks over on Kick said Cyberpunk is also a perfect example of a game I actually have on my channel. And look at the game now, it's really, really good. I got sidetracked. I have on my YouTube channel, you can go back and watch me try to stream Cyberpunk 2077. I played on a PS4 Slim, and I kept getting blue screen crashes. It kept crashing my PlayStation to the point where there was one time in 45 minutes, I think the game crashed 7 times in 45 minutes, and I abandoned the stream. I just said I'm not going to stream this game. I finished the playthrough, but I played it offline, and I had a great time even with the bugs. But Cyberpunk now is a brilliant game. As a matter of fact, speaking of Cyberpunk, we're going to get sidetracked. You see that right there? I just reinstalled the Ultimate Edition yesterday because we're going to be doing a playthrough probably in January. I'm planning on doing a complete playthrough for the third time of Cyberpunk 2077, including the Phantom Liberty DLC, which I've only done one time before, last year when it launched. So stay tuned for that coming up in January. Yeah, Cyberpunk's another great example of a game that legitimately had so many bugs. That got pulled from the PlayStation Store. It had so many bugs. So I mean, yeah, I don't see any reason to hate on a game because it has bugs at launch. That's a normal part of
Still pretending it's
game development.
Reclamation Day, are we?
Do 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 do. Final notice. But this to me is just another example of if you like Bethesda games, like this is a good game. It was rough at in its launch state, but again, what game isn't rough in its
Never
launch state?
stop learning.
I have yet to determine what it is with there's a certain group of people who just have legitimate emotional dislike for Bethesda, and I'll never understand it. Like when I was playing Starfield at launch, I remember when I played Starfield the first day, it got so bad that I had to put my channels into members only, because there were so many people coming into my Starfield videos and just trying to shit all over me. And then everybody kept bringing Fallout 76 baggage into my Starfield streams, and it's like, just fuck off. Like, I don't need that here. Like, I'm here to play the game and have fun and all that. But Fallout 76, Bethesda betrayed me. I laugh so hard when people make that comment. Bethesda betrayed me. Were you fucking married to Bethesda? Did it cheat on you with someone? Like, betray? That's a strong word. Betray is a really strong word. Like, how did they betray you? Oh, they made a game in a way that you didn't like, but that's betrayal? Get the fuck out of here and grow up. Like, grow up. Yeah, Skullmass, hating on a game or developers is wrong. There's enough shit in real life you can hate, but games and devs, come on. Chill out and have fun playing the games. Exactly. Yeah, I saw that, Gray. The you can move your items from the ornithopter to the bank now. I was like, sweet, because I'm supposed to log in on Tuesday and start my bank runs. So it's nice to know that they fixed that. Wolfrain says wants to know about audio crispness and stuff. I mean, if you want, I don't have a professional setup at all. I have a nice $150 headset and mic. I run some filters on Streamlabs, but like I don't worry about it. Um, there are like if you want to go full pro, you can buy yourself a boom mic and spend a few $100s and get a soundboard and yeah, I don't do any of that. And I get complaints like probably 5, 10 times a week about my audio, and I just don't fucking care. Like I don't care. I really don't. I make a living doing this. I like the headset. I like doing this. I do not want to have to sit here and be like, what's a better thing? I don't have a boom. What can I pick up that would be like the boom mic? Here's my remote control. I don't want to have to sit here and constantly be moving this thing every time because I move around a lot. I stand up, I sit down. My leg injury means I'm constantly moving to find a better position, and I do not want to have to be continually moving this boom mic. I also can't stand like the concept of like there's a mic right over my face. Like I just don't like I like the headset, but I don't use anything special. I literally have a filter on Streamlabs which does a little bit, and then when I do any videos that I actually edit and film more, I add an additional filter to I'll do some equalizer stuff, but other than that, I just run it. Is it my first time on 76? No, it's not my first time. No. Nope, nope, nope. But we're just doing some for funsies this morning because I have the project that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, which we're going to be starting in November. Every time somebody tries to tell me you should get a better mic, you should get a professional microphone, I always tell them the same thing. Feel free to send me whatever headset and microphone and soundboard and mixer setup that you think I should be using. I am happy to let you do that for me. You spend your $1,000 on the setup that you think I should have, and I will use it. But until then, fuck off. And in a perfect world, if I had a budget like Co-Carnage, I could have a completely soundproofed room with a mic that is stationary, and it would sound perfect no matter where in the room that I am sitting. I do not have an infinite budget. I am a person on a budget like everybody else, which means I have the setup that works for me and that's within my budget, and that doesn't require me to spend tens of thousands of dollars to set up. So yeah, those kind of people can just take a hike. No, I wouldn't use it anyway. Like I said, I can't stand the thought of like having to move something around.
Aloha. Ciao. Arrivederci. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Vaya con Dios.
I also am not willing to spend a lot of money to build like the perfect stream setup here, because this is not the house is not built in a way that I would be willing to invest a bunch of money into this office. Like I haven't shown this in a while, but like I just have a green screen like on the wall. There's like a whole bunch of setup stuff here in dust, but that thing has been hanging on the window. That's a window to the outside. That has been hanging on. I don't even think we've ever taken it off. It's been there for like 4 years. Chris was actually complaining about the other day, saying I really need to take that off and clean it. The walls haven't been painted. It's a concrete block box that I sit in with my office. There's an air conditioner, mini split on the wall. I got an overhead light, a couple of stream lights, and then, my desk you know, which is just some cheap wooden tables that we bought. There's a milk crate over here. That's a painted milk crate, which is what my gaming laptop sits on. There's all this shit down here. All this storage stuff. There's boxes all over the floor back in there. You know, filled with like, there's cat meds in that one. Like, this is not a professional setup. Just nobody sees it because the only thing they see is the green screen. I literally, whenever I buy like, because this is the only air conditioned room in the house, so like all of our cat meds are in here. And then like whenever we buy like my protein powder, like got a box of protein powder down here because it's, you know, nice and cool in this room. Whenever I buy wine or alcohol, it comes in here and gets stashed under the bed. You know, I don't spend. Chris and I do not spend money on stupid shit. You want to hear a funny conversation we had the other day? I was like, hey, there's a discount right now. It was our anniversary on Tuesday, so it's like, do you want to buy, you want to buy some whiskey and some stuff for our anniversary? She doesn't drink a lot of alcohol. I'll drink alcohol if I buy it. I'm the one who likes my alcohol. And she was like, well, if you want, but, and this is what she'll always tell me, and she's not wrong, but this is why I married her. I have a smart wife. She told me, do you really want to spend $500 on alcohol, even though it's, you know, on 30% discount, or do you want to buy this piece of property that we've been looking at? And I was like, you're not wrong. We should, you know, go buy the piece of property. So the priorities, right? Which, by the way, today actually, the errand that I'm running with her is we are going to buy a piece of property today. We're paying cash money, and we're buying a piece of farmland. It's actually a piece of forest. We're buying forested land just outside of town. We are buying a small plot of land as an investment, cash money. And those are the types of things where the priority. So like me spending $10,000 to have like the perfect stream setup, why the fuck do I need to do that? You know, I have a $150 headset that works. I have a, you know, $3,000 gaming laptop. I got an Xbox Series X. I got a PS5. I got a stream box that's 8 years old. That's an 8-year-old laptop, which I need to replace probably. I have a $150 webcam. I do not use a DSLR camera. I use a Logitech 922C or whatever it's called, which I have two of them that are like 7 or 8 years old. I have a cheap ass, just Amazon Basics chair. What else? I am the epitome of you do not need to spend a ton of money to make this work. You can literally just do it on whatever budget you have. You know, I have the cheap Elgato capture card. I have like a $25, $30 switcher off of Amazon. Yeah, I do every 6 months, Roberta. I pay someone. So about every 6 months, sometimes a little bit less. It's like every 5-6 months I pay someone to come in. It's actually due right now. We had it cleaned in, I think it was May. So June, July, August, September, October. It's about time. April or May was when it got cleaned last. So yeah, I do. We have a guy. He's been cleaning our air conditioner unit for like 3 years now. He's really good. But yeah, that thing runs 24/7. I probably only turn it off during like December and January, which is when it finally cools down here enough for me to not run the AC. But otherwise, that thing runs 24/7. And it's like, I think he charges us $30 or $40 to come out and clean it. And he's super good about, like, he doesn't just clean. He'll be cleaning. He'll be like, hey, this washer's cracked. I'll replace it. Hey, this little coupling needs to be fixed. I'll fix that. And it's always just whatever the cost of the part is. And then he just it's included in his maintenance. Like, he's a really cool kid. So yes. Am I transcend? I didn't know. I haven't checked all those settings yet. So anyway, what Kabuki was saying, straight grind though. Yes, I don't spend money on stupid shit very often. So we bought this place for cash money in 2021. We moved here in 2022. We spent cash to furnish it with some very basic stuff. We actually just bought an upgrade for our stove and oven, which got delivered on Tuesday. We don't even have it installed yet. That replaced the one that we bought when we moved in, which was literally just like a stove top with like 4 propane burners, and that's hooked up to a gas tank outside. And we don't actually, we don't have an oven on that. It's just a stovetop thing. And then we have an electric oven that we use for any baking we do. But we actually just bought a stove and oven combo, and that took us like what, almost 4 years to buy, because Chris is like, I don't need it, so why spend the money on it? I have a very smart significant other when it comes to being frugal. And we are getting older, so everything that we do is all about how do we shore up our future and make sure that we have enough money to, take care of us for the rest of our lives and not rely on governments who may or may not still be around and, or giving us pension when we're, if we even make it to our 60s. So, yeah, I don't spend money on stupid shit like, oh, you need to get a better microphone setup. Whatever. This works. I would rather go buy a nice piece of property in the woods so that I can build a second house or sell it off in 10 years, double my investment. Do I use a gaming laptop to stream? Yep. I am a big fan of the Rogue Strix series. I've been using them this is the second time I bought one. And I just love them. I'll get another one soon. Yep. I have a 4080 in mine. It works great. Shiny says I'm not great. I'm upgrading nothing. I've got teeth to pay for. If you can, yes. If you can, fuck it. I mean, it's a tax write-off. If you can, go for it. But now we've got some nice farmland that we're going to be picking up, which we can eventually grow something on if we want to. All right, this is what I was wanting to look at because I need to decide what I want to do here for the project in November. I've always done the fresh dweller. I've never done battle ready dweller. Yeah, I have 2. I have my old monitor, which is this one right over here, which is what I run Streamlabs on, and all my chat for the streams shows up over here. That's the monitor I was using for like the past 8 years. I just replaced it with this monitor, which I bought about 3-4 months ago, which is this is a Rogue Strix 1920 by 1080 monitor. This is a MSI 4K 32 inch. This is a 28 inch. They're both curved. I like the curved monitors. So I just upgraded to the 4K monitor about 3 months ago. Just for my eyes. My eyes are getting, as I've gotten older, it's better to have something better. And then I have the monitor up top for the stream machine, but I don't actually look at that, but it's on. And I run exclusively laptops. I haven't had a desktop in... Last time I had a desktop, I think it was 2009. 2010. I've been laptop only since like 2010. I'm gonna try Battle Ready Dweller. I wanna check what this is like. I don't know here. I forget how VATS works in Fallout 76. It like pauses in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. I don't think it pauses here. If I remember correctly, it's just like targeting thing with an energy bar that goes down the longer you're in the mode. Right? Like slows down or something. I don't know where Chris moved the box, to be honest with you. It's a HyperX Cloud 2, I think is the name of the headset. But I don't know where she may have thrown the box away. All right. Since I don't remember, I'll probably... I like automatic weapons, so I'll probably go commando. Can I view the perks here before I pick? I can. Luck of the draw. Soiled trousers are a downside. Yeah, I think for the purposes of, I think if I was doing long term, I would probably go specialist. But since we're just doing something funsies today, does it actually show you? It does. Let's do it. Transcend, you said something about I had been set to be offline. How do I check this? I'm also on the Xbox. I don't know if that matters, because if you're on the PC, I don't know that there's crossplay. Like, I don't know I don't know that I'm necessarily offline. It's probably just because I'm on Xbox and you're probably on PC. I don't know. How would I set... Ah. No, I'm normal. Yeah, that's what it is. It's because I'm on Xbox. Alright, I'm like over here going, but I don't have my jetpack. It's got me playing so much Starfield. It's looking beautiful. Alright, definitely definitely stay in first person. Okay, I need to check weapons here. And then I'm going to go say good morning to my great niece really quick because she's up. She does not have any school today or tomorrow, but she has a oh, it gives you some, we got a tactical automatic combat rifle out of the gate. It's not bad. And 477 rounds of ammo.
Oh, sir. Those young ladies down there, they seem exceedingly alive. They haven't yet made any untoward advances, but perhaps you could speak to them? Verify their intentions are civil?
Civil! Who knows if they are civil? Yeah, I don't remember it pausing in Fallout 76 for sure. Somebody said on TikTok it's like an aimbot for 76. Okay. Alright. Have you seen the Overseer?
Well, yes, but it's been
Alright,
some
see skull
time.
masks.
But she was a resourceful woman. I'm sure she's all right.
Any idea what those two are doing up here?
Only that they appear to have some vested interest in accessing the vault.
Got to be a way in there. Maybe. Wait, a vault dweller? Hey there!
Oh, that's right, the donations box. I remember this from when we were playing last year. Anglers needed. No experience required, just a strong arm, a willing mind, and some entrepreneurial spirit. Come find us at the Fisherman's Rest in the mire. I like your jacket, Lacey. Maybe you should give it to me.
Whoa, whoa! Just a friend here, not a threat. Just had some questions for you. You came out of the vault, right? I thought it was empty. Wait, is the door still open?
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go say good morning to my great niece. the airplane sheet fort or something in the bed. I'm just laughing. All right. All right, door sealed tight. No one's getting in.
God damn it. We got a tip from the Wayward. Heard of the place? A new bar down the road. So this guy told us that...
After you gave him the last of our caps?
And he said that inside that vault is the... You know, that's where the big one is.
The big
our
one?
last chance to turn our lousy luck around. You know, the thing that brought everyone back. The treasure.
There's a treasure out there?
Well, yeah. There was this big broadcast, but shouldn't you know it was in there?
I told you, Lacey. The guy was scamming us.
But those were the last of our caps. No.
Sucks to be a
Someone
sucker.
has to know something. We're just gonna stick it
So-
out until we find them.
What's interesting, I didn't know how
Wonderful.
it would work if you chose that option
Thanks for
to do
answering
the
some
20,
questions for us,
level
I
20.
suppose. Seems
Um,
only fair I return the favor.
What is the cap? Anybody know what the
Anything we
cap
can
is in
answer
this
for
game
you?
off the top of your heads? What can you tell me about the treasure? Because honestly, all this really feels like is if you're someone who wants to sort of have an easy mode, like if you want to go into this with easy mode turned on, you start with the level 20 and all those predefined skills and everything else. Whereas if you want to play like hard mode, you would start from scratch and customize everything from the very beginning. There's no cap. Interesting.
Happy to tell you what I know, which isn't much. Someone made a broadcast not too long back about there being some kind of treasure buried in Appalachia. We don't know what, we don't know where. With people as desperate as they are, it's meant everyone with a functioning radio has come back to try and see if they can get a piece of it.
Monsters or no?
Guy we met at the Wayward, Carter, I think was his name. He gave us a couple of leads to chase down in exchange for all our money. Up to us now to
Suckers.
make something of them. Watch yourself out there.
Player titles are available. You can choose your own titles. Something I want to check. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta remember everything's through the Pip-Boy in this game. There we go. So it sounds like it's like RDR2 in that regards.
Be careful with strangers. Not everyone's as friendly as us.
I was trying to see. All right. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that on. Oh Jesus! Was not ready for that, man. Tuesday, I'm gonna start doing base moving stuff, and I'm not looking forward to it. Okay. Oh, that's right. We're at the bottom here. Okay. I've been playing so much Starfield, I gotta sort of. I mean, it is a Bethesda game, so the controls are somewhat similar, but there's also some differences, like the compass being at the bottom of the screen. Oh, Jesus, where'd you come from? I gotta say, going this route right out of the gate, it does feel a lot better than my previous couple of times that I've jumped in, where you're stuck with like a pistol, and this feels much better. It's like, okay, I start off with a nice gun. I've got some points already set out. Like, it's a nice automatic. Like this feels much better than my previous couple of times. All right, this is. I'm definitely gonna do this when I start for realsies in. I gotta remember what is VATS is. I don't remember. May have to look at the controls to remember how to do that. That's grenades. Probably gotta look at the control scheme. Rats, man. Oh, there's a part of me that wants to just. There is a part of me that is literally, and I might do this. I haven't decided yet. There's a part of me for Dune Awakening that wants to just like take my character, fully repair my ornithopter, fully repair all of my gear, and then put my bike in my Solito handheld, and then fly my ornithopter to Arakeen and just park it and be done. Because I could play that character for probably 25, 30 hours of gameplay without needing to ever repair anything. None of my gear, none of it. I don't need to repair any of it if I'm fully repaired. Which would make me, I would be able to do the next 3, 4, 5 story updates. Because the story updates are only ever going to have 5 to 6 hours of, maybe let's say 5 to 10 hours of content for every story update that's coming in the pipeline. I don't really, and I'm really debating whether or not I want to put all the time and energy into like moving everything. I don't know. I'm still torn on it. Because on the one hand, they've given us all these options to like store stuff at the banks. So it would be nice to like store all the materials from the T6 production facilities, because that was, there was a lot of effort that went into building all those and harvesting all those materials. But at the same time, I'm like, yes. You should check to see if you can get your Thopter back from the recovery system. There was something over here. The Mothman? Oh shit. How did he disappear in a puff of smoke? And is he gonna come back and eat me? Oh my god. Creepy music on top of it, thank you. Something hit me, invisible. I don't know what that was, man. It put spots on my screen. I'm scared. It's probably the invisible Mothman. Wood scrap. I don't remember being able to gather wood scraps. I remember all the plants being for like tea or potions or something. I don't remember gathering wood ever before though. That's interesting. Wonder what wood is used for. It was only the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man!
Lumberjack Protectron does not want to lose lumberjack job to cheap human labor.
Lumberjack robot does not want to lose his job to cheap human labor. That's some funny shit, dude. Make Appalachia great again! There's a scavenger. What are these? Fireflies or mosquitoes? A bee swarm. Jesus. Can I loot the bee swarms? Oh, that's a beehive. Run! They still gonna follow me? Alright, we survived the bee swarms after we stole the honey. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Mothman myth. I just have never seen it that early in the game. Like, I've seen it a couple of times before, but not that early. Oh, Jesus. Man, I do not remember seeing so many ghouls right away the previous couple of times I've tried this out. Oh, I heard you, bitch. Oh, you've actually got a gun. Man, I don't remember if I can break everything down in this game or not, so loot everything for the moment. Yeah, the game does look phenomenal. For sure. Whoa! Seriously. So I've played a couple times in the past. I have, just trying things out. I don't remember the ghouls ever being this prevalent. Unless maybe there's an event going on, or it could be because this is the first time I've ever tried the like the level boost thing where you like start off at level 20 instead of level 1. It's all good. We're doing research. Yes, Bethesda, if you're watching, add crossplay. I guarantee you this is a case of the game, when they built the game, it was engineered a specific way, and so it's not something where they can just easily go back in and add like crossplay across platforms. Because even like Conan Exiles does that. It's still stuck in that hole. You can only play on the platform that you started on, which is why I really appreciate that when Amazon redesigned New World for the New World Eternum update, they added crossplay so that everyone can play together regardless of platform. There is a rumor, I don't have any belief that the rumor is true, but there was a rumor that Bethesda may be working on a multiplayer or an online version of Starfield. And if that rumor ends up being true, I hope to hell that they make it with crossplay in mind. But given the fact that you can already crossplay Starfield if you are an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate person, you can play that on any platform and your progress and everything saves across. I would assume that they would do that because that's a big thing for Microsoft for all their new titles moving forward, is everything has to be cross-platform, cross-play. Do I have anything to donate? Oh, if they built a Starfield 76, I would main that so hard. I have never gone, like, I have never been willing to go all in on a game because I like being a variety content creator and stuff, but I have to admit that if they were to do an online Starfield, I would probably finally pick a main game and like have a main game. I used to have main games, by the way, before I started streaming for a living. My main game for a long time was EverQuest 1, and then it was EverQuest 2, and then it was, Lord of the Rings Online for 7-8 years, and then Star Wars: The Republic for 3 or 4 years. And I have always had main MMOs that I've played up until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when I finally said, for the purposes of my business, I would prefer to go the content, the you know, variety streamer, variety content creator route because I like to play lots of games, and it's just the best way for growth. Um, but I would be willing to have a main game if Starfield came out with an online version. Mm. Oh, I think my niece is getting my grandniece is getting coffee. I hear Chris out there saying, "Do you want some?" She's 3 years old and she drinks coffee. Not like she gets a couple of sips, but she wants to have coffee and cookies with her aunt, with her great aunt. And I hear Chris saying something about coffee right now. And she's been learning. We've been really starting to pick up on the English lessons. So I'd like her. I'd like to see if we can't, by the time we get to Christmas, if we can't, have borderline, so basic conversations in English. She's getting there with some things. NPK over on Twitch wants to know how's the game. Well, it's like any other game. If you like video games, you'll have fun playing the game, no matter what. Is she with us till December? Well, I mean, we're just technically we watch her Monday through Friday while she's in school. She's in preschool right now, so her mom and dad live in the next town over, and they have a preschool there, but it's not as good as the preschool here. So they registered her at this preschool because this is a better school with better opportunities. We're in a bigger town, and we live 2 blocks from the school. So she stays with us Monday through Friday. Chris takes her to school. She's registered as her official tutor. And then she's also has the benefit of starting to learn English. And hopefully, I don't have kids. She's 3 years old. So, I mean, the key is that hopefully we can get her to be, bilingual, by living here and growing up with us and spending her weekdays here. But then she goes home on the weekends with her mom and dad. And then, her parents work. And when there's no school, usually she'll go home when there's no school. Um, Although this week there's no school today and tomorrow, but her mom just started a new job on Monday, so we just keep her during the week. And then they're here. I mean, they're the whole family, and we're so close to each other. Like, Chris has a very good relationship with her family. I have a very good relationship with her family. Her one sister is here. Like, she spends the night here probably 3 times a week. She just comes and hangs out. And then usually her mom's here once or twice a month. She'll come out. Um, and then Chris is out there all the time. But it's not very far away. Like, it's just the next town over. It's probably 15, 20 minutes by car. I forget what you can just...
Lady, I will paint the walls with you if you don't tell me where Crane's treasure is right now!
Honey, you picked the wrong time to get a drink.
What are you? Hey! Who the hell are you?
Snoochie Boochies. Perception 2+. Me? I'm the person distracting you, so the guy hiding back there can blow your brains out. Little help?
Guy?
Nice.
I told you it was gonna end badly. Now I'm hoping you're here to have a drink and play nice. I've had a gun pointed at me more
Ain't
than
nothing
enough
wrong with
for
Peppa
one
Pig.
day.
All right. Tomorrow, everybody, is the 17th. If everything goes good, we're going to see how tomorrow goes. But I was hoping to play tomorrow. I'm going to hopefully do a big day tomorrow. I usually break my day up and do about 4 hours in the morning and come back in the afternoon and do another 4 hours in the afternoon. Tomorrow is an anniversary day, though. It's our 2nd-year anniversary of full-time streaming on Twitch. We added Twitch to the multi-streaming rotation. As soon as Twitch allowed us to start multi-streaming, I added it to the rotation. So when they changed the rules and said, yeah, we don't have a problem. And I was like, sweet. So we're going to start streaming on Twitch. I've been on YouTube for almost 4 years. 4 years will be February. We'll be full time on YouTube. But we are coming up on our 2-year anniversary of multi streaming with Twitch. I just added Kick and TikTok about, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks ago. So we're at 4,938 followers on Twitch right now. We're getting very close to our annual goal of 5,000, which is awesome. We're getting very close to 60,000 on YouTube, which is very awesome as well. Tomorrow, though, as long as, knock on wood, as long as I am feeling good, I'm still hoping that we don't get any like residual head colds or anything from what the bug going around. I'm going to try to do a 12-hour stream tomorrow. And we're going to do a little bit of everything tomorrow, I think. I've got, well, right now, I'll tell you what I installed the other day. We obviously installed Fallout 76 for the upcoming project, but I reinstalled Cyberpunk. I reinstalled Dragon Age the Veilguard. Um, Obviously more Starfield. So tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wake up and we're just going to roll into. We're probably going to do a few things tomorrow, although I may get sidetracked and just do one thing tomorrow. Definitely going to do some Dragon Age Veilguard tomorrow because I haven't played in a while and I've never played the tank. So I'm going to roll a Grey Warden tomorrow morning. We're going to go through. We're going to start the day with some Dragon Age Veilguard, and then we'll just see how that goes, and we'll go from there. Probably do some Starfield at some point. At least that's the current plan. If something changes, I'll let you guys know what we're doing tomorrow. A 12-hour stream. Christmas came early, folks, says Deeks. It just depends, man. It's really hard for me when we have because there's so many things that go on here. So helping Chris run errands, helping cook, helping with the farm animals, helping with the grandniece. Like today, we're got to go out and buy a piece of property, so I got to go with Chris to the notary and do paperwork and stuff. And there's always something going on, which keeps me from sitting here and just streaming like 8 hours nonstop Monday through Friday. Plus, also with my legs still not being 100%, I often get uncomfortable sitting for long periods of time. But I'm gonna see what I can't do tomorrow. And I've been trying to rest my eyes a little bit, but I've been feeling reasonably good the past couple of weeks. My leg's been cranky the past couple of days, but my eyes are good. So as long as I feel good, we'll do a longer stream tomorrow. At least that's the current plan. So today we're gonna just plug away at Fallout 76 for a few hours. And then I need to check actually to see if we're doing Enshrouded tonight. Let me ping Babylonia's Discord because I think my plan is to come back after we run errands. I'm gonna come back and play PAX Day. Is it PAX Day or PAX Die? I don't actually know how it's pronounced because that goes into Game Pass today. All right, well, I'll see if those guys respond later on. And then while we're sitting here, I need to check an email. Good vibes only tomorrow for Renfail, says Panda. Thank you very much for that. I will not be checking out Arc Raiders. Nope. I don't really. I'm not a big fan of extraction shooters. There's no story. I need narrative RPG. I need narrative for me. I gotta have narrative stuff. Huh. Sorry, I was reading an email that I got from somebody here. More loot for you, says Deeks. Nice. All right. Cool. Oh no, that was something from so we're streaming on the Steam page for Norse Oath of Blood right now, and that was the publishing team had reached out about some stuff. There's the potential to. It's a lot of work. I don't know if I have the technical capabilities of doing it here at the house. I gotta double check and see. We're seeing about PAX Day, PAX Day. I'll check it out. Um, there's a discussion about whether I can get a head scan and have myself put into the game as one of the herdsmen. But I don't I have to read through the technical document and see if that's even something that I can do here at the house, or if it's something I want to, if there's any hoops I want to jump through. It'd be kind of cool to get my official representation in a little game. Could be fun. We'll see. I got to read through the tech document because it's about how to do my head scan and stuff. All right. Well, I need a bear rug like that in my house. Yeah, I haven't done a full update yet, Deeks. What'll be happening is today, knock on wood, today I believe we are going into, we've already looked at the property twice. Today we're going into the office I mean, assuming everything goes off of that hitch, I think today we're just going into the property and going into the office to buy the property. I don't know what that entails yet. Things, here, we got to, there's a notary involved and we got to get, there's stuff that has to be done. So that's theoretically what's happening today is the purchasing. Once that's done, I will then, we will record a member only video for our channel members on YouTube, and then just talking about the process and everything else. And then I will record a homestead channel video. For the homestead channel, we will go to the property and actually show the property for those people who want to pay attention to that kind of stuff. It's a mosquito hive out there right now though, so we might wait until the end of October to go out there because it was bad. We went out the other day and like rolled the windows down in the car and just all the mosquitoes just went inside. It was like ah, but it's a nice little piece of woodland property that looks out over the river and the lagoon. There's a big lagoon out there, and then the river is beyond the lagoon. So it's up on a hillside. So we're on the edge of the forested property, and then it's just farmland sloping down to the lagoon, and then there's the river beyond. So it's got a nice view. It's not a huge piece of property. It's a place where you can go build a small cabin or a house, have some animals, have some outside garden. We're not planning on doing anything with it. We're just buying it to have it so that we're not just sitting on cash that's not doing anything. NPK says, I recently put the Outer Worlds for the first time on easy difficulty, found I didn't really engage with all the mechanics like upgrading weapons, armor, and stuff to buff my character for a period of time. You mostly play on easy mode, just wondering if you experienced the same thing when playing games on easy. Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's my answer, NPK. I don't give a shit. Not in a rude way, in a I don't give a shit about those things in games. Like if I'm playing a game and there are things about the mechanics. Like I mostly just play games for story. Like I could give two shits about. Oh, I'm not using. So you know what's a good example is not this game, but like Starfield. I'm most recently playing Starfield again. I don't care about all the food buffs and the drink buffs and the weighted ammo. I just turn off. I turn it all off. Like I don't want weighted ammo. I don't want all that stuff. And like when you play like an RPG, Pillars of Eternity is a good example of this. Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great example of this. When you play in easy mode, you don't have to worry about things like potions and traps and crafting items and, all that stuff. You just play the game and focus on the story, and that's the only thing that I care about. I care about story. That's it. If I have to struggle and die to a boss multiple times, I'm gonna tune out. Um, if your mechanics are too complex, I'm gonna tune out. If I need a spreadsheet to play your game, I'm gonna tune out. If you have complicated, stupid controls, I'm gonna tune out. Like, I just want this is an entertainment for me. This is a source of entertainment. I mentioned this the other day. If I want to be challenged, I go learn a new language. I go build something in my backyard that requires me to use my critical thinking skills to measure twice, cut once. Like that's what I do if I want to be challenged. When I play a video game, I want to sit down, relax, and have fun. And I don't have fun when I'm having to micromanage things like potions and foods and drinks and
Well, not exactly the introduction to the wayward I would have hoped for. Oh, sorry about that, darling. First round's on me.
it's one of the reasons I was very
Name's
reluctant for a
Duchess.
long time to get
There's
into
something I could do for you.
survival games because there's way too much micromanagement of stupid shit. But if it has a good story, I'm willing to put up with it to a degree. But that's why I also love things like No Man's Sky or Enshrouded, where I can adjust the game difficulty, or the survival mode in Starfield. I could turn off weighted ammo, I can turn off detrimental effects, I can turn all that shit off, and I can just focus on the story and the narrative. I really appreciated I think it was South of Midnight I played earlier this year. South of Midnight, you could literally adjust, like, I don't want to do boss fights. And it would turn off boss fights. And so rather than having to deal with the boss fight, you would just get to the boss and it would go straight into the cutscenes. Awesome. You could also turn off the regular combat. So if you wanted to skip combat entirely, you could make South of Midnight be a completely narrative puzzle solving experience where all you did was the puzzle solving, the narration, and the platforming. And you could play that game and just have this really cool narrative visual experience. Or if you wanted to, you could have the action combat experience with the perfect dodge, perfect block, all the complicated leveling up of your abilities and different combo abilities and all that other stuff. So if you wanted that, so I'm very, very appreciative of games that give me the option to do those things. Baldur's Gate 3 is a good example of way too many people were like, oh, I'm so confused. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. What do I do? How does the dice work? How do the stats work? How do the weapon don't worry about it. There's an easy mode in the game. There's literally a story mode. Click the story mode. Now you don't have to worry about all that complex shit and you can just play the game. But if you want to micromanage your party, play on normal mode or hardcore mode, right? Worry about things like pausing the gameplay, separating your rogue out from the party, sneaking them around the encounter, coming in behind, ambushing to get your triple, quadruple backstab damage, and then while your rogue is locked in combat, you bring the rest of the party in from flanking. You chuck a smoke bomb, you chuck a poison grenade, you drop a fireball, you blow up some barrels, and oh, that guy's resistant to fire. Well, let's pull him out because he's not resistant to electric. Let's pull him over here to this pool of water, and while we've got him in the pool of water, drop a web spell so he's rooted, and then electrify the water. Like, there's all these different strategies and tactics you can start doing when you're getting into it if you want to. But I don't get bogged down in that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of just let me just do story, man. Like, I've played some really good games this year that were 100%. Matter of fact, it's on the PlayStation. I don't know if it's on other platforms. Let me find it. Yeah, this game right here. I think this is the one. The Invincible. It's a PS5 game developed by Starwood Industries and published by 11-Bit Studios. It's an adaptation of Stanislaus Lem's 1964 novel The Invincible. Oh, I guess it's all platforms. It was released for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X on November 6, 2023. It is a first-person. It's a sci-fi game. You're on a planet, and you're trying to figure out what happened to this civilization, and you're trying to find your missing crewmates after a spaceship wreck or something, and all you have is like a scanner and a telescope, and it's a branching narrative game where it's all just about player choice and like working your way through, and like it looked really cool, and I've read that it's only like a 6 to 10 hour experience depending on the choices you make, and I looked at that and went, that would be a really fun game to just play through and stream one day. There's no combat. There's no platforming. It's just story. Another one, and I think a lot of people have probably never played it before. It's called The Dig. It's from the mid '90s. It was a Lucasfilm or LucasArts game. Steven Spielberg produced it. Has a bunch of famous voice actors, or a bunch of famous Hollywood actors, like who did voices for it. But it's called The Dig, and it follows a series of astronauts who go to. It's basically they go to this asteroid that's coming to hit Earth, and they're there to like help it not hit Earth. And while they're there, they discover these alien. They discover a portal essentially, and it transports them. It turns out that it's a ship, and it transports them to another galaxy. And then they have to try to figure out how to get home. No combat in the game whatsoever. It's a point and click adventure game that's all about solving puzzles and having a narrative adventure. I think that if I really, really like a game, a good example of this, by the way, I'm going to have to clip this out. This is a great discussion. If I really, really like a game, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples here, where Jedi Fallen Order. The first time I played that game, I played it on story mode because I found that the timing thing was really tricky for me, and like trying to figure out how to like time the blaster reflects and all that other stuff. So the very first time I played that game through, I played on story mode. I loved the game so much, I immediately turned around and did a normal playthrough on normal mode. And I had such a great time that about 6 months later, I went back for a third playthrough, and I played the game on the next higher up difficulty. And each time you crank it up, you're having to deal with more and more mechanics. Pillars of Eternity, great couple of games, can be extremely complex to learn for new players. First time through, story mode. Second time through, normal mode, lots of pausing the game because you're wanting to micromanage your party of 6 players. Now go try to play that game in Iron mode, like it's called Iron Man mode or something like that. And now it's like you're instead of playing real time with pause, you now have to play it like a turn-based game because one hit can kill your character. So you very much have to worry about, okay, I have to be highly resistant to acid damage to face this mob, so I need to buff my acid, with these pieces of gear and these spells, and we got to do fire damage against this guy. So you're being able to adjust things. So for me, if I like a game well enough to go through and play it a second or a third time, that's when I personally will crank up the difficulty and experience more of the mechanics than I did the first time. Because the first time through, I'd really just want to see the cool voice acting, the cutscenes. What did we just play? Ghost of Yotei? Ghost of Yotei is a perfect example of that. I did the first 15 hours of the game on normal mode. On normal mode, you have to worry about your parry, block, and dodge. You definitely have to worry about changing weapons in the middle of fights, because otherwise, like, sword against sword, dual katanas against spears, spear against dual wielding opponents, um, Gusarigama against shielded opponents. Like, you have to worry about those things in normal mode or any of the higher difficulty modes. After about 15 hours of gameplay, I got a little tired of button pressing because you're doing a lot of button mashing and I have finger fatigue and I'm just like, I'm over it. I went into story mode. Once you're in story mode, you no longer have to worry about any of that. And you can literally just focus on one weapon type. So pick your favorite weapon type. For me, it was the dual wielding katanas, two katanas. Max that out. And now when you go into combat, you could pretty much just use those weapons against all of the enemies. You don't really have to, it dumbs down the enemy AI. They're not going to be as responsive. They're not going to come at you as quickly or as efficiently as they would otherwise. They're not using as many of their special abilities. They're not changing weapons in the middle of fights as often as they normally would do. So it makes it much more accessible to someone who might be handicapped, might be playing the controller with their feet. Maybe there's someone who's in a wheelchair and doesn't have use of their hands or their feet, and they're using like their mouth to move the controller around. These are why I always appreciate accessibility options in games, because they allow the people who might not have a way to play the games otherwise to be able to still play these games and get enjoyment out of them. And then for people like me who are just old and, I get finger fatigue after 3 or 4 hours of playing a game. And after 15, 20 hours of just constantly pushing buttons and pulling triggers, I'm like, dude, just give it to me on story mode. I'm not here to try to, compete. I'm just here to have fun. So always recommend story mode first. And that's why I have a line of merch called I Play Games in Story Mode. Because it's the best way to do it, and then worry about the mechanics later on. Nope, I have never hit never had problems in New World in terms of the challenge rating. I mean, it's definitely got more challenging, the higher level you go, but I never hit a brick wall. But I mean, like the Nighthaven stuff we just played through, those werewolves were killing me pretty quick. And I just had to learn, stay away. Don't let them close because my character is a squishy, and if they get in range to touch me, I'm toast. So I just had to learn to just stay the hell away.
Your guess is as good as mine, sweetheart. He busted in here saying I needed to turn over the location of some fellow named Crane, who I guess I must have served at some point or another. Since then, a steady stream of miscreants has been making my life irritating. Not exactly good for a budding business.
You looking for help?
Now that you mention it, I could use an extra pair of hands. See? That boy we put down? He's not the first of his crew to roll in here. But I want him to be the last. Normally, I'd send my people out to clean house. But my muscles run off, so I don't have the bodies to spare right now. But I'm willing to pay good money if you put an end to this for me. So,
Yeah, I don't think you're having a skill issue. I
what do
think
you
you're just getting into content where you're not able to face roll it like you were earlier, and so you just have to adjust your strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't call it a skill issue. I don't think there's anything in New World that necessarily has a ton of skill required. Just don't let them touch you or figure it. I think that like Nighthaven, the big thing for me was I got very frustrated with the stupid jump puzzles that didn't have anything to do with the story. They just like put platforming in the game for no reason. And then like the Dracula fight, the boss fight was a little tricky, but chat was there to help me and tell me what the mechanics were. Once I figured out the mechanics, the fight wasn't that hard. It was just figuring out the mechanics. So I think like with most things in New World, if you come up against new mobs that are kicking your butt, the big thing is going to be analyzing what they're doing, and then once you figure out the mechanics, they're not that challenging. For me, because I play a squishy character in New World, I just have to make sure that things don't get close. Because if anything gets close to me, I'm in light armor. I'm a dex-based character, and things can kill me pretty quick if they touch me. So I just have to be very agile and stay the hell away and use my bow. And yeah,
That's what I was hoping. So, the details. Now, each of these boys came in asking after Crane. I'm thinking we can make that work for us. How would you grab the attention of a bunch of single-minded thugs?
you want me to pretend to be Crane, don't you?
Well, aren't you a smart cookie? And I think I know just how to do it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I think I'll just... I just want you to know, architecture ain't exactly my forte. Huh, not half bad. So what I've chicken scratched together here for you is the schematic for one custom-made Crane Treasure Hunting Inc. sign. If I didn't butcher the plans too bad, it's got a little system built in that'll make sending out an advertisement and getting this gang's attention a snap. You just need to build it, use the tape it spits out to tell the world you're open for business, and then convince any punks that show up to tell you where their boss is hiding. They did teach you all how to build from schematics up in that vault of yours, didn't they?
Sure.
That's the spirit.
Not that I remember how
Hey,
to
if you
do it.
need a refresher, good old Morty Mort can help you out.
Snoochie
What are you on
boochies!
about, Mordecai?
Hey, nah, I'm not bragging or anything, but I've got some tapes that cover that very subject.
Oh, Mort, not the tapes. Well, you find yourself wanting a refresher? Talk to Mort. Of course you're gonna need materials, but we should have enough lying around to cover you there. Get you together a little care package. Throw some rations in there too, so you don't starve on me. And so you know, you might have to break some of this scrap down for parts. But I can spot you some workbench materials too, since you're doing me such a big one. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn something while you do it.
You never know.
Now, you ready to get this show on the road?
I am ready to do. Construction, scrapping, and dealing with thugs. You're gonna need to pay more for all that.
It is a lot to ask. Fine. I could do 75, but that's as high as I'll go. That means you're up to the task?
Let's do this.
Hot dog. Be good to have those dolts off our back at long last. Just make sure, once you find out where they're hiding, that their leader gets the message. The wayward gets left alone. Oh, and on the topic of leaders, you know, one of my people found this tape in the camp across the way, recorded by one overseer of Vault 76. It's a little out of date at this point, but it seems it might have been left for someone from her vault. Maybe it was waiting for you?
I think so.
Sounds like she set the camp up so her people could get some practice in self-reliance. Probably worth looking into if you think you could use a little refresher.
All right. Read the plan from your inventory. All right. I'll be right back.
Attention, citizens. Nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation. All right. Breakfast is on the way. Your Pip-Boy is receiving a priority message. These will play automatically. Really? Oh, was there a nuke being dropped?
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen one near me. They're always like off in some random part of the map. Yeah, it's like way down there. Optional speak to Mort. Yeah, I don't need to do any of that.
Overseer's log, south of Vault 76. I knew this wasn't going to be the Appalachia I remembered, but... mutated animals? Haywire bots? No people so far. We have to be ready to rebuild in... what I can confirm is... hostile territory.
Hostile!
Fortunately, Vault Tech was prepared. You see this? The cooking station, the stash box, the workbenches, all built with the camp. You need a home base out there. The construction and assembly mobile platform is designed to give you one. Just add resources, planning, and a little elbow grease. When you move your camp, everything you've built is stored, ready to be placed back down in the new area. Use this to establish a foothold whenever you're in unfamiliar territory. I've left my camp behind so you can use it. I know I'm breaking my own advice by not taking it with me. But after seeing Appalachia for myself, I need to make sure every resident of 76 has a safe haven they can start from. I'll make do without it. If it's still standing, the town of Flatwoods is further down this road. Find me there. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Alright, so if I remember correctly, there's a camp just outside. Somewhere. I don't remember where it's at, though. Alright, here it is. If I remember correctly, there's some, like, supplies left behind, too. And a stash. Okay. Have I checked out the new Crimson Desert gameplay quest? No, I'm waiting on Crimson Desert. I am not entirely sure that I'm gonna play it. I need confirmation that it has a story mode first. If it has a story mode, then I may be interested. But I'm very much on the fence. Wait and see. It looks like it's gonna be too focused on like boss fights. So, yeah, that's not my style of game. So we'll wait and see. If it has a story mode, I might be compelled to try it out. But like, the closest I get to those types of games is like I did Dragon's Dogma 2 a couple years ago. It was okay, but I really lost interest. I got very bored with that game very quickly because there wasn't any story. It was just kill lots of... It was the stupidest part about Dragon's Dogma 2 was the lack of fast travel. And wagons don't count because you could still get interrupted on the wagons. and you would have to defend the wagons, and the developer coming out and being like, you don't need fast travel in our game because there's nothing boring, there's nothing to skip. And it's like, by the 50th time I had to kill a pack of wolves or a pack of goblins that just had a different skin tone or a different color patch on their color fur, I was like, this is boring. Like, I'm killing mobs for the sake of killing mobs. This is pointless. Like, there's no story. So I need a game to have story to pull me forward. Shadow of the Colossus, kill a bunch of boss mobs because they're boss mobs. I found that very boring. Crimson Desert looks to have elements of, like, it looks like a monster hunting game. I don't play the Monster Hunter series because of that, so I'm not really that interested in Crimson Desert at the moment. I'm intrigued, but I need to know a lot more. Cassio Malile Laratona over on YouTube says, you are wrong, Renfail. It doesn't matter how much you try to defend Starfield. It is a shit pile of a game. It has no open world exploration. It's full of menus and UI and bullshit bureaucracy. There is zero agency in the exploration. Oblivion is a far better game. I mean, tell us you're angry without telling us you're angry about a video game. Stunted emotional trolls. Flip side, person saying about New World Eternum, I love the fact that we can lie on our beds and sit on our chairs. I'm currently making a chair for my front veranda so that I can sit and watch people run by on the street outside of my home. Like Elian Gray. The housing system is so awesome. I love it. I love the fact that I can see my house when I'm outside as well, so I can see the interior. So on the one side, we have a very positive person who's having fun playing in the video game, and we have on the other side a person who is just an incel living in their mom's basement who hates the whole world and wants to lash out. Inox wants to know, why do you give trolls detailed responses? It just shows them these kind of comments get under your skin. Well, I feel like a lot of people fail to understand how much money I make off of farming trolls for free engagement. I even have a merch line called Thanks for the Free Engagement. Like, ain't nobody getting under my skin. It's called me leveraging their trolliness and hatred and stupidity and making money off of it. Like, I'm never not going to stop. I'm never not going to do that. I'm never going to stop doing that. You should just ignore the trolls, bro. Why? It gives me free content. I'm going to monetize their stupidity, monetize their hatred. Never, ever, ever let the trolls win, kids. It's like the bullies in school. What do you do with the bullies? Do you ignore the bullies? Fuck no. You push back. You punch them in the face. You kick them in the nuts. You throw sand in their eyes. That's how you do bullies. You stand up to them. And to monetize it. Get rich off their stupidity. Yeah, I haven't seen enough about Crimson Desert to make me go, oh my god, I need to play this game. I don't know. I can't. There's no way to define how much I make per troll. Because every video does differently. But I think, most... that would be an interesting statistic to try to figure out and figure out, because I have no way of knowing that. All I know is I have a bunch of shorts that go out on Instagram and TikTok and etc. and they do extremely well every time I slap back against a troll. I mean, most of those videos are doing 50,000 to 100,000 views. So I'll make, it just depends, you know, I'll make, depends on what type of video it is, because there's so much that comes into that, because you get so many people that end up coming over from those videos and they become subscribers on Twitch or they become members on YouTube because of the short that they saw. Somebody pointed out to me a couple months back that somebody had shared, I didn't even know this, somebody had shared my clapback. You guys remember when Veilguard came out and that one content creator who made a hissy fit about not getting a review code after he was flown out to the event, and then he didn't get a review code because he talked shit about Veilguard, and he got really mad. He made a bunch of videos about it. How, you know, anyway, that guy, I made a video talking about, as someone who has created influencer campaigns and worked at the top of that in both the travel industry and the game development space, as someone creating influencer campaigns and managing influencer campaigns, I made a video talking about that experience and how that person will never get invited back to an event ever again, and how that sort of behavior is something that gets shared amongst the game studios, and those people disappear. Those people don't work anymore. Somebody shared that video of mine out on Reddit. I didn't find out about this until months later, and apparently that video made the rounds. No, not him. There was a different person, although they were one of the people who did that. And that clapback video got shared out, I don't know how many thousands of times because of a share on Reddit. So those types of things, you never know where they're going to go, and there's no way to really calculate exactly what you're going to get. Because I could say that video made $500, right? That video made $500, but then how much more money did I make off of the number of followers I got, and the number of members I got, the number of subscribers I got? That's something that's such a long tail thing to try to figure out, because you never know when someone is going to become a hardcore fan or a hardcore follower and like buy the merch and follow the member videos and go follow the Homestead channel, and like there's levels to it that it's really hard to calculate. But that would be really fascinating to try to figure that out. Because really, you know, I am who I am. I do what I do. A lot of people only know me from this content. But I do have some people who have followed me over the years. Like, so before this, I was in the travel space as a travel influencer. I've been a fantasy and science fiction writer. I've done game development. Like, I've done a lot of different things. And I have some people who have followed, like, you know, who have been here for the whole journey and have followed all the things I've done. But I have been online as a persona since 2008, making money on the internet with my face and my abilities. So, and I say this multiple times. Long-term viewers hear me all the time say this kind of stuff. It's probably starting to sound like me. I'm probably starting to sound like Pirate Software, ranting about how I worked at Blizzard all those years ago. But I mean, really, it's like I'll be doing this in front of a camera until I'm dead. Like Grandpa Gamer. That dude's a badass, sniping people on fucking Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty and stuff. Like, I'm not that type of gamer, but I will definitely be that old man in another 20 years, assuming I make it to that point. I might not be gaming. You know, I have plans to go back and write more science fiction and fantasy at some point. I definitely want to have a mountain property that I renovate on a YouTube channel and share that with people, because I really love what that other guy's doing in the Italian Alps, who I've shared a few times. Why are you having so much fun with this game, right? By the way, that person I'm mentioning, if you go look at their YouTube channel, they haven't done any work for any major companies since they made that hissy fit about. Um, um, so from Baldur's Gate 3 up until Dragon Age Veilguard, their channel was growing, 250,000 YouTube followers, and they were getting flown out to events and doing all this stuff, and then they had that mental breakdown over Dragon Age Veilguard, and their channel has just no press events this year at all. Traffic has tanked. No new followers. Like hardly any videos. No, very few new videos. Going back and playing like older, trying to recapture like 10-year-old, 15-year-old games now. Like they literally shot themselves in the foot, which is what I was explaining to people when I made that video that I did. I was like, if you do that kind of stuff, like if I, as the destination market agency for like Cancun, if I fly you into Cancun and I put you up in a hotel and I sit into these restaurants and then you write a shitty review about the hotel and you talk bad about the places we sent you, you're never working with us ever again, and you're never going to work with anybody else that we have contact with because you just shit in the bowl of cereal. Like, you just pissed the bed. Like, and I said that they have yet to work with anybody this year, and it's just like, I mean, maybe Simper Play. I mean, I was vaguely interested in it, but it's not something that has like pushed up to the top of my priority list. If I come across maybe some free time. Okay, you can scrap all the junk. I don't think Bloodlines 2 is an RPG. From what I understand, it looks like a narrative. It looks like a cinematic narrative action. I don't know what it's classified as. I would look at it right now and say it looks like a narrative adventure game, a narrative action game. I don't think it doesn't look like an RPG to me. It looks like a highly cinematic visual game that's going to have a lot of cutscenes. You make choices in between. There's some action-based gameplay, but I don't think it's going to be a traditional RPG from what I understand. Only a fool fouls their own nest. Very true. But for those of you who know who I'm talking about, just go look at that person's YouTube channel. I was actually over there like a week ago. Just out of curiosity going, what have they been up to? Nothing all year. Sporadic streams, trying to recapture the glory of Baldur's Gate 3. Not able to capture that magic again. Like, the audience has moved on. You gotta... You can't... The problem with a lot of YouTubers is they get big and then they think that because they're big, they don't need the companies that they got big working with. Like, we played games to get big, and then suddenly I get big, and now the ego kicks in, and I don't need those companies anymore because I'm important on the internet. And it's like, oh no, those companies still pay your bills. Like, if you want to get the early access keys, and you want to get flown to events, and you want to get the sponsorships and all those things, like, you gotta, you can't, I didn't get a review code, meh. Thank you, baby. Blanca, do you want a piece of chicken? Yeah, it has pepper on it. Come here. No, you don't get up on here. Don't get up on the desk. There, you can have a piece of chicken. Come on, sweetie. Come on. That's not for you. I already gave you a piece of chicken. Go on. Come here. You missed a piece. There's no more. This is just a simple chicken sandwich this morning, guys. From Chris. And I have a kitty cat trying to eat my sandwich. Alright, come here. You cannot be up here on my desk. Oh, purr. I know. I already gave you a piece of chicken. I'm supposed to build something here. We're just hanging out and chatting this morning. I'm not in a... I'll be playing this for realsies in November. Would you stop? You're being silly, kitty cat. And she just jumped on the desk and fell off. Hang on. She's all Twitter pated because she smells food. Alright, let me see if I can pull another piece of chicken out of here for you. Get off the desk! You're being horrible this morning. Here. It's a piece of chicken. Oh, it's not even a like chicken thing, Atara. It's a, oh my god, you have chicken. Gimme. And she has no manners because she's a street cat that we took in. So she'll full on... Like, all of our cats will sort of wait patiently. Except for Frodo. Frodo will come after you. She's jumping all over the desk, jumping on the chairs, trying to figure out how to get up on the plate. I think she calmed down, though, after the second piece of chicken. Just give me a second, Transcend, and I'll answer that. I do have an answer. I also have an answer for that, Simperplay. No, if she really... I wish I could show you guys. I can't pan this. This camera doesn't pan down. So she's on my chair right now looking up at me. Can I come up here? If she gets a whiff of something that she really wants, she'll ask. There she is right there. You see her little head pop up. She'll ask if she really wants it. Otherwise, what she'll do is she'll just sort of like put her paw up and she'll actively take it off your plate if you're not paying attention. Like she'll reach up and just grab it. So I have to be conscious of that because she has no manners. She will occasionally talk. She's not a huge talker, unless it's dinner time, and then she'll be like meow meow meow. But like if it's, she really loves like if I have sardines, she'll cry. Like she'll ask for sardines. It just depends on if she's hungry. Like she already had breakfast like a few hours ago. She's not hungry. She's literally, Chris opened the door and handed me a sandwich. And so she was like, oh, Daddy has food? Can I have some food? But she's not an active. Now, Christina's cat, Frodo, Frodo will he'll start crying and he'll get up in your face. Like you'll be eating and he'll like get right up in there and try to take a bite with you. Like he full on will, and if you're not paying attention, he'll jump like off the top of the refrigerator or something, and he'll land on your shoulder and like, oh, what are you eating? Can I have a bite? And he'll like literally wrap around your neck and try to eat your sandwich while you're eating. So you have to be very careful with Frodo, because he's just, oh, that's for us. All right, let me get my notebook because these are two really good questions, which I can clip out. So let's start with the PoE2 question. Transcend said, my parents gifted me Path of Exile 2 for my birthday a couple of weeks ago. I know some of your gripes with the game, but honest blunt take, is it worth it during its early access period? You know, if you like ARPGs, I would argue that yes, while also understanding my gripes with the game. There's a lot of content in the game as it is right now in early access. Like there's a lot. Like you could easily sink 50 to 100 hours in, especially if you're going to go through like a couple different characters. My complaints with Path of Exile 2 have largely to do with the balancing that is an ongoing issue, because the normal mode is not, it's not cut out for people who are fans of story mode games like me, which goes into the whole discussion I made a couple weeks back about how I prefer Titan Quest 2 to Path of Exile 2, because Titan Quest 2 has a story mode, and so I'm not being punished for missing a button press. Alright? Because I have a lot of distractions when I'm streaming, like the cat, you know, we have 6 cats, Chris needs me, my grandniece tapping on the door, Uncle Tim, like, there's always something that is taking me away from the screen in front of me. And the thing about Path of Exile 2 is that if you miss a button press during a boss fight, even during normal fights, like if you miss a button press, you don't dodge, you don't get out of the ground clutter, you miss a block, etc., you can one shot, you know. And I don't like games that punish me for missing button presses. So I struggle with that aspect of Path of Exile 2. Apart from that, it is a fun game. It's a very complex game. I love the Ice Mage, the Ice Sorceress. There is a ton of content. There's, 4 or 5 acts now in Path of Exile 2. So again, lots of stuff to see and do. There's several classes to explore. It is fundamentally a good game, but it is still working out its growing pains and getting the kinks out. The balance is the primary thing. They really need to, you know, like, and they have done a good job, because when I first started playing it, when it first launched into early access, it was much more hard than it is now. They've definitely scaled back the difficulty on the normal mode while also allowing people to have that hardcore mode if they prefer it. Still a lot of work left to do, obviously. And the other thing it's a personal thing. I don't like how the maps reset. Like, they only last for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or something, and then they can reset. And there's ways around that, pause the game, etc., etc. But I don't like the fact that if I need to get up and go take care of my grandniece, or I need to go take care of cats, or Chris needs me to help with something, and I forget to pause the game, or I forget to do something, and then, you know, I go to log back into a zone and it's completely cleared, and now it's RNG again, and I don't like that at all. Again, it feels like I'm being punished for having a life outside of the game. Those are complaints that are not necessarily indicative of the gameplay being good. The game is good. It's fundamentally a good game. There's lots of stuff to do. Those are just nitpicks that I have, which I know the Path of Exile 2 fanboys who just have their noses so far up the Path of Exile 2 chode. Well, that's just the way the game's supposed to be played. Just fucking move on, tourist. I mean, I get it. You guys want your... I do definitely feel like it's a game made for hardcore ARPG enthusiasts. So if you like hardcore ARPGs, then, I mean, I think it's worth it. I do have fun when I play it, but I also hit brick walls quite frequently. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not playing that for another couple of weeks because I don't want to die 50 times in a mob. It's the same reason I don't play Dark Souls games. You know, I'm not a huge fan of that challenge rating where you gotta hit buttons at a specific time or otherwise you fail. If they can iron out those kinks, it would be a much better experience for me. Now the second question, which tails on off that, was something about Titan's Quest 2. Let me scroll up. I missed it. Oh, there it is. How long would you say Titan Quest 2 is in its current state? Thinking about jumping in. They just added Chapter 2. And with Titan Quest 2, it very much just depends on if you're playing on easy mode or normal mode. Like, what difficulty setting do you want to play on? I think there might even be a hardcore mode. I play on easy mode, and I think on easy mode, there's about 30-ish hours of content from start to finish, going through Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Chapter 2 just got added, like, 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. If you play on normal, it's like 40 to 50 hours of content. It's very good. Very, very, very good. I prefer Titan Quest 2 to Path of Exile 2 because I like the Greek mythology more. I love the music. I love the aesthetic. The voiceovers are absolutely phenomenal in Titan Quest 2. Really, really having a good time with that one. The classes are really fun. It's not nearly as complex in terms of figuring out your builds and stuff as Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2, you know, you'd open up that skill menu and there's like thousands of skills, whereas Titan's Quest 2 is like, here's a couple of archetypes, and then here's like these passive abilities and your active abilities. You could put points into the active and passive abilities and sort of customize them as you see fit. I much more enjoy Titan Quest 2. I'm not a huge action RPG fan. Like, I don't really play a ton of like those top-down games like Diablo 4. I've played all the Diablo games, but I played the original Titan Quest game years ago. That's not my primary type of game to play, but I do really enjoy. I love Greek mythology, so for me, the draw to that series has always been the Greek mythology. The environments are beautiful, the music is amazing, the voiceovers are great. It's just really fun, and I think that to me is the reason Titan Quest 2 is better for me than PoE 2 is that it's more accessible. It has an easy mode, so I can play on story mode. Like, it's really hard to die on easy mode in Titan Quest 2. You can literally ignore a lot of the boss attacks and just sort of run around, and if you completely don't pay attention, you could still die. But it's really easy to be like, oops, I didn't run out of that AoE, but it's not going to one-shot me. It just did like a quarter of my health. No problem. Hit my barrier, drink a potion, I'm good to go. And that to me is a far more approachable game from a enjoyment factor, because I'm not being penalized for being bad at the game or for not being quick enough to push the buttons or because I got distracted or I think it's a great game. Shout out to THQ Nordic for the key. I've been having a great time playing that. Chapter 2 is really fun. So I think it's worth diving into for sure. Yes, that's a big thing, Lady Tara, is like just being able to chill and smash everything. That's a big part of what is making Titan Quest 2 so much fun, is like I could just run around and blow shit up, and it feels fun. That's why I like Diablo 4. When I played it, was like, it's like very easy to get into, and it's not complex, and I play everything with controller, so yep. do I do this? I'm at the camp. Do not remember how to build things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, PoE 2. I've played it on both. I own it on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. So you can play it on either or. It's very controller friendly. Yep. I do not remember how to bring up the camp. That's if I want to move the camp. I do not remember how to bring up the camp thingy. No, that's favorited stuff. I may have to Google this. Oh shit, I need to pay attention to the time too. Hang on. Let me check in with Chris really quick. I think they stepped out. I'll wait for them to get back. They probably went to the corner store. My niece was probably asking for potato chips or something. How the hell do I open up the camp thing to build? I'm gonna have to look this up really quick. Unless there's a controller guide here. Build mode. Aha, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Wait, that didn't do it. They lied. Once the camp is placed, walk up and activate it to enter building mode. I wonder if I have to build my own. I thought I could just use this though. Yeah, because that's not letting me touch that. I wonder if I have to place my own. I could have sworn I could build it over there, but apparently not. Yeah, see? I had to actually place mine. Crane treasure hunting. This does look completely different than before. Oh my goodness.
Broadcast tape issued. Please deposit data tape into any relay system terminal. Target marked.
See, for some reason I was thinking you could use the one here to build, and it's like you had to set your own camp to build, and that was something I had forgotten. Yeah, I forgot you had to build your own. These are the kinks I'm working out so that I can get prepped for the November run. So it's good to remember those things. It's on Xbox or PC. Can you also play this at the PlayStation? I seriously hope they put out a Starfield online game. I would love that. I would play the shit out of that. Transcend says it is on PS5 as well. There's simply no cross progression or crossplay. But I am playing the Xbox version. But yeah, you can play it anywhere. But Starfield Online? Fuck yeah, I'm there. Sign me up. I'll buy a collector's edition. I'm all in. Oh, does the Vault-Tec one also? Oh, they both did. My bad. I probably didn't mean to make that one then, because the small Vault-Tec survival backpack also gives me. Alright, well, let's scrap it.
Attention, citizens. Nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation.
Alright, we'll leave all that alone for now. Alright, I do like the look of that backpack more, though. Alright. Do I have the light on? I do. My bad. Well, I'm waiting on Chris to get back because she needs to give me an update. Because if her sister's coming, trying to figure out if her sister's coming over today. Yeah, I remember this quest, Transcend. I'm trying to hold off before I go heading out until I know if I'm needing to leave the house or if Christy, because if Chris's sister is coming today, I think the two of them are going to go take care of all the paperwork and I'll just hang out at home, in which case I'll do something different. But her sister was not coming as of earlier, but then I heard that she might be coming over this morning to go help with paperwork. So I'm trying to figure out the morning yet before I go wandering off into the wilds. Give me 2 seconds. All right, I've got about 40 minutes regardless, so should be good. Okay. The big thing with Starfield is always going to be the fact that it has 1,000 planets to explore. And as they have time to flesh all the... You know how, like, a lot of games... well, we just saw this with New World. But you could also look at Skyrim as an example. Or an even better example would be to look at Elder Scrolls Online. When they add a new region to the map, they literally have to either... Generally speaking, they add a new region somewhere else that you access via a teleport system, right? So it'll be like a boat or some sort of a portal that's going to take you from this continent to that continent. Very rarely do they add existing landmass to something. Like if there's a continent already in place, it's very rare that they will add an existing landmass onto that. They did with New World recently, and if you'll notice, it's connected to the last landmass they added, which is connected to the island. So they have a way of building to where they can just connect it, and then they can connect to the next zone, and so on and so forth. Um, but most games, when you talk about when they want to add something new, they have to create it and then connect it. The cool thing about Starfield is those 1,000 planets, those 1,000 planets already exist. So they don't have to create any new land masses. All they have to do is put POIs, like custom POIs, in those locations. Like they already have a procedurally generated, they have procedurally generating content which generates random POIs. And then it's just like, okay, well, let's take this star system over here. It's got 9 planets. We can stick a couple of outposts in orbit. We can build a new city. We're going to call it city number 5. That city is going to offer 75 main quests. Those quests are going to take players out into the planets in that surrounding system. There's going to be pirates. There's going to be factions. Like there's, with 1,000 planets and all of these star systems, all of these systems set up in that galaxy, you have a lot of room to play with of just going in and creating content over time. And that's what Bethesda does. That's what every company does. It's not rocket science. Like, you add content to your game over time. Skyrim did not become a massive behemoth of a game overnight. It became that over, 15 years or whatever of adding content to the game. It's really weird to me to have the compass on the bottom of the screen, not the top of the screen. Good guy? Bad guy. Bad guy. Did they just blow themselves up? Shit, where are you at? It's dark, I can't see anything. Wow, it's hard to see anything at nighttime. Oh, can I just take all? Thank you. Dog tags? Why not? Pack Brahmin. Not no mo. Oh, that's right, I have a light. I forgot. Thank you. I'm dead. I can't see. Correct. I think that's something that a lot of people forget about with Starfield, is that one of the big things that Bethesda has going for them is the creation system and the creation store. So they have created this massive sandbox where thousands of people can go in and create content. And so your star system, your version of Starfield, can be whatever it is that you want it to be. In terms of, do you just want Bethesda content, or do you also want all this other stuff and these unique, crafted storylines and weird outposts, and somebody created, a science fiction version of something over here. Somebody has a... It's kind of like if you imagine Stargate SG-1, you know how every time they would go through the gate, they would wind up on a planet that had different levels of civilization, right? So they'd sometimes wind up in like medieval villages. So even though we're in like Star Trek has done this as well. You're in a science fiction storyline, but you're also coming across like elements of fantasy and medieval and mythological and all this other stuff, because you can do anything on all these different planets that have different levels of technology and stuff. It's really cool. Anybody else? Oh, there's definitely somebody outside still. Is there a chest in here? Baseball grenade. Yeah, right. Star Trek and Star Trek they eventually had to deal with Sheogorath at some point. It's not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh man.
Message uploaded. Initiating broadcast pulse. Attention, all consumers. New business established. Please seek out Crane Treasure Hunt Incorporated to exchange goods and services. Initiate tagline. Follow the sign to fortune. Broadcast complete.
Yeah, I remember watching Maduros with his house when I played with him, and just everything got stashed. Oh yeah, PD. I think my favorite would be like the war between the mechs and the Xenos. Like there's so much you can do in that game. Good times. Like I will play that game. Like I said, I just like these games. I like, it's like BioWare. I will always play BioWare games as long as they exist as a studio. I will play their games. Bethesda, I will always play their games.
Whoa, you're not Crane. The hell's going on here?
You know Crane? He tell you anything about this treasure he found?
Crane found the treasure? Holy shit. Where is he?
Last place you spotted was this bar down the hill from Vault 76, the Wayward.
The Wayward, huh? Might be at the place of visit. Appreciate the tip. Not Crane. Good luck out here.
Alright, do I still need to wait? Hi there. Pretty sure you guys are the ones I'm waiting for.
Crane! Come out, wherever you are! Hey, we're not gonna beg if that's what you're waiting for. But you will if you don't get out here right now! You Crane? This it? Thought you were some kind of big shot. So, rumor is you've got information our boss wants. You tell me where this treasure is, and he's willing to leave you alone. Scout's honor.
How about you tell me where your hideout is, or I'll turn you inside out.
Yeah, what? Sure. Fine. We took over the old West Virginia Lumber Company in the Northwest. Come on. Let's get out of here.
So the benefit to having taken the level 20 starting thing is like I've never been able to like converse my way out of this. I've always had to shoot my way out when I've played this before in the past. That's very interesting. Whew. All right, Duchess.
Well, you don't look too worse for wear.
Thank you.
You managed to
I try to
figure
get
out
my
where
beauty
those
sleep.
miscreants are hiding?
West Virginia Lumber Company.
Fantastic. So that's where their boss will be.
Wait, West Virginia lumber? That is not right. You misheard them for sure.
And that's of concern.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have
exactly?
an espresso before I leave the house. Otherwise, I'll be falling asleep in the
That
office.
place was overrun with a bunch of those big... You've seen those Frankensteins. If this gang was able to clean those things... Well, I wouldn't go in guns blazing.
All right, I'm skipping all this really quick because I've seen this
There
before.
was also... Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yep. All right. That is a good point for me to drop out, everybody. I'm going to go make an espresso and figure out what the rest of the morning holds, because I may or may not be going to an office with Chris. It depends on if her sister's showing up. She's on the phone with her sister right now, so I got to go figure out what's up. I should be back today with PAX Day. I don't know if we're playing Enshrouded tonight. Let me see. Oh, Bubbleonia just let me know. He's got 2 extra projects this week. We'll skip Enshrouded this week. All right, so PAX Day is definitely this afternoon. It launches into not early access, excuse me. It launches, 1.0 launches today, and it's on PC Game Pass. So that's around 10 a.m. Central. I don't know what time I'll start, but this afternoon I will be back at some point with PAX Day is the plan. And since we're not doing Enshrouded tonight, that'll be the only thing I do tonight. And then we will probably just focus on PAX Day for the next 2 or 3 days. And only that, just to try it out and kind of do a deep dive into it. Tuesday is when we start Vampire Masquerade Bloodline 2. We'll probably still do some more Starfield here in the next day or two, because I haven't done Starfield for a few days. And I was going to do some this morning, and then I saw Fallout 76 sitting there, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to do 76. So I'll be back in a few hours. That was a great day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Thanks for the gifted subs, the memberships, the renewals, all those things, everybody. If you're watching on TikTok, Kick, or Twitch, get over to YouTube, because everything in between happens over there. I'm going to go get this announcement video prepped out, cut out for the Fallout 76 project, and I'll see everybody later.